that we cut back to Books. Books sneezes slightly. He's just like, "Achoo." like someone was talking about him from a distance. And like as we're talking with Books and the grandfather, you see like Genji, Aces, and Sifrig. They're all like putting their gear back on, and Sifrig's like, "Wait, Captain!"
Grandfather, it appears my captain is about to depart. Is there anything that I need to complete before I leave?
He says, "You have my permission to return in the future, my grandson. But do not return until you have purged the darkness from your soul."
And you said non-violence was the only way, correct? With the next trial.
In respect to your next trial, yes. Do not mistake us, however. We are not a non-violent people. Some have thought to bring war to our island in the past, and with our great and powerful arcanomancy, we have driven them off.
Thank you for your wisdom. I will heed your words, and I depart.
Okay? Alright, so you like start putting your stuff back on.
Oh yeah, if there's any more of that icky green stuff in a seashell, I definitely drink some.
Okay, yeah.
I'm suffering some ill effects.
They have someone bring it out. So all of you, if you'd like to roll it up, you gain a D8 plus 5 temporary hit points for 12 hours once you've drunk it, and it removes all sickness, disease.
Yeah. Of course, a natural one. Story of my life, bro.
Alright, so we do a little montage. Everyone's leaving. You're getting back in your canoe. You know, grandfather's there. There's some other warriors there, show you off and give you guys salutes. The 3 shamans are still there, like waving their sticks that make noise and waving their incense, and they're like, "Beware of the cursed one! She carries the devil inside of her!" and stuff like that. And you make it back to your ship.
Can I fly back? Shaman style?
Sure. I don't know how. Are you turning into a bird using your druid power? Then yes. You just drew it back.
Yeah.
Well, that just means Sifrig and Genji and Books have to row themselves.
Is anybody changed appearance-wise? I know that there was some effects during the trials for Uncle Books. He got smarter during these trials. Was there any other noticeable effects with other party members that I noticed?
I don't think so.
I didn't learn a thing.
I got a little bit more yellow hair.
Some people got more charismatic, I hear. I don't know how noticeable that would be.
My hair is made from being steamed.
I'm sorry, Lorraine. I couldn't understand any of that. It all dropped out.
I'm sure it was hilarious.
Curse you, Skype. I gotta figure out some way to get Hangouts to work. Yes, it is a steam tent, so your hair is very humid right now. It's probably all curled or something. I don't know how you imagine your hair is like, but yeah, it's basically like you were at a day spa for 2 days. It also reeks horribly of all the drugs that you were smoking.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the other thing I wanted to do. So for those of you that didn't get all 3 of your points, that is to say your 3 inherent bonuses, when you feel that you have accomplished what that particular person you were speaking with had asked of you, then you will be entitled to gain that inherent bonus. So for instance, if you gain your father's mask, which is what you were missing, you will take a bonus. And when you've confronted your torturer, bonus. When you finally ended the reign of terror of the commander of Task Force Rising Serpent, bonus. That kind of stuff.
Huh. That sounds cool.
There was a lot of overlap.
For you?
Yeah.
Maybe, but maybe I have some way of sorting it out. So, obviously, you need to find Azalea, confront him, and then make a decision. So, once each of those 3 things is accomplished, you will, have a choice. You'll get your bonus.
Okay then.
Well, I think the first thing you're probably going to take care of is the ghost problem.
So I've heard. So you guys get back to your ship. It's actually the third day away from island for most of the crew, which means that unless you force all the crew to go onto land, you may be getting a visit tonight.
Shall we do the thing?
Louis?
I prefer to do it in 3 days when we hit the land, like solid land, just in case it goes south. Then we're not all screwed. That's just my personal opinion. Because we're in the island in the middle of nowhere. We don't know these waters.
Officer meeting. Okay. Sure. If you would like to have the crew go onto the land, they certainly could go onto the island.
You sure if we're going on that?
I'm sorry, Lorraine. You broke up again.
Skype finds new and interesting
I know
ways.
it works perfectly on Hangouts. I don't get it, but I can't. Not sure you want the crew on that particular island. Well,
Yeah, I have some reservation about that as well. I mean, out of character, obviously.
Hey!
stop making fun of them island folk. Hey man, them been doing the ganja in the name of Jah, yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a day out to, say, here, right?
Yep.
We can get the crew to that island on that at that time if we wanted to.
If you want to, yes.
I mean, I see no difference happens like if we fight this ghost ship now or if we fight this ghost ship later.
Well, Sifrig would answer you guys, but at the officer meeting, he's spending the whole time, combing his mohawk back into place, gelling it, and catching up on all the ale and food that he's missed out on. Because if you remember, that's his one and only desire in the world is to drink ale and eat food. Books, I believe you're being confronted via chat. Let's see if I can zoom in on the chat here. Don't worry.
Be happy.
We're really new. We have Google Plus and Skype up. Skype for voice and Google Plus for
Wow, the drain for
sound.
that would be incredible. So bad.
You see Aces toward the captain's like, we're doing this again? You can't put me back in, man.
Aces, you have your gear now. And the rest of us backing you up, I assume.
I don't want to go back into that hellish nightmare.
What
Don't
that
you want
into
to
that
take your
hellish
revenge?
nightmare?
I thought you were all about revenge, and now here you are within striking distance of some revenging.
I'm kind of depressed
Yeah,
right
on the
now.
ghost ship anyway.
Well, you see, I was just flying around, minding my own business, and then, like, ghost ship, bam. It kept me fed somewhat, but apparently I make a good power source. Imagine that. Well, I can see the back of your jump, sir.
Oh no, Adam! Oh no! So there's some question here as to the future. I see.
Yeah, I want my revenge. I just don't want to go back into that dream state of, drugs and stuff. Cause remember, my experience was bad the whole time.
Yeah, you got pretty messed up. And you got punched by yourself.
Yes. And the thing about it, I got favorite enemy human, so he punched pretty hard. Just I'm a half orc. Bam! I was like, ow! My face.
Count as both orc and human.
That's the one I'm gonna keep boosting. So he had like a plus, I don't know, 8 to damage and hit to do that punch.
It looks like.
Really? This organization? You mean the Hosek clan? I love how we're now calling people by like 5 different names at this point. Navardi, Books, Mad Dog, Bottles, that guy.
That burb.
Why did she go get Navardi'd?
I say to the captain, they're not so bad. Some of my people actually have ties with them. Jungle people, island people, same thing.
I don't think that's true at all. Aren't you from like the northern part of the...
Well, I'm part of this area, wherever the Mwangi expansion.
Uplands, yeah.
But after the village burned down, we moved to Port Peril.
I have some ideas there.
So that's why I have the city raised half orc ability. If I could actually have whips, because that's my goddess weapon.
No,
and plus 2.
This. Ferris is like, you should think more carefully about your choices. She's soccer momming you right now. If those are the kind of people you want to hang out with, maybe you should be rethinking your life decisions. Shouldn't you be going to a nice elf college, settle down with a nice elf doctor?
Nice. Well, she is our captain, so she wants the best out of us. She's very disappointed in
So
your judgment.
disappointed in you right now. Can't you just bring a nice girl home for the holidays? That's all I'm asking. I think we let Stan here. Hopefully we'll get them back soon. Before we keep going on the judgment spree.
I do want to say that the grandfather did tell me that I have 2 souls in one body, and you have 2 bodies and 1 soul. But he did not elaborate on what that meant exactly. And I do not know what it means either.
It's pretty mysterious, right? I thought it was a good line myself.
And I say to myself, 10 years being in captives, I'm not used to those drugs I used to take when I was younger. I got weak.
So before we continue the dressing down of Goodman Navardi, what would you guys like to do now? I mean, there's a question of whether or not you're going to make a run to the island to get the crew offloaded and reset your 3-day timer.
Ferris's personal preference would be, let's get us.
You missed the last part.
Yeah, we dropped out just at the end.
But we're motivated, apparently.
I heard nothing.
I can hear the rain outside. It's pouring down hard. It's gonna be ice cold tomorrow. Okay, is there any islands around here that we could touch down on other than this island? I think knowledge geography, right?
Here. You don't think that there are any islands out there. Of course, you didn't think this particular island was out there. You could, of course, make a knowledge geography check.
Okay.
If you so wished.
I just they
Yeah, you're pretty sure there aren't any islands in the Fever Sea.
Yeah, I kind
You
of
know that
explained to
there's some buried cities underneath the Fever Sea, but the only islands you'd find will be by going way south off the Sargavan coast.
I tried reasoning with the captain. Like, we really should have some type of homeland advantage on orders that we know versus orders we don't know if we're going to be fighting undead, because they're nasty lots. I respect your decision, Captain, but because my experience here was not a favorable one either.
I think we're losing Dan again. Oh no!
Dan, we need you to do ninja stuff.
So, of course, at this point, Sifri's in the back just eating an entire chicken. Just eating it like a boss.
Dropping it in and out of Skype.
Yeah. But you've been coming back to it pretty fast. It hasn't been too bad.
Okay. So, what's your final decision, Captain?
Away parties have touched the land, and they come back to the boat immediately. You're pretty sure everyone has reset the 3-day timer.
Okay. Transformer roll out
To where?
to somewhere in waters that we know. That's not here. Are we just going to fast forward? Because we didn't really we fast forward here.
Yeah,
We're going to
sure.
refine back.
So where did you guys want to be headed to?
Hmm.
We could head toward Blood Cove, I guess.
No, don't go back to Blood Cove. That means we have to pay him money.
Well, we don't have to touch down in Blood Cove. We probably won't have enough travel time to touch down in Blood Cove.
Do we really want to bring a ghost ship to Blood Cove?
I mean,
You've technically done it before multiple times.
Fine. We'll pay him another plunder. I kind of cringe paying people.
You don't believe in paying people?
I'm old and cheap.
It's going to be an interesting tribe you set up. Its socioeconomic principles will be based on Aristotelian payment methods, then?
You ever watch Wakfu?
Nope, not even slightly. I watched about the first 10 minutes of it, and I was like, I hate this animation style. Everyone's using some weird words. There's a ninja who can stop time, and there's a dragon guy. Looking at this is painful to me.
Well, if you would have gone 5 episodes in, technically my character is like the old guy that's always money hungry, but he will pay his tithes.
I see.
Like, I'm a little bit stingy because I'm a little bit old, you know what I mean? I'm about to hit middle age soon. I'm pretty much, I outlive most half-orcs right now because most half-orcs don't even make it to 92. Oh, not 92, 29.
So you're headed to the rock, then?
To the rock.
Ta-da.
How much time is passing, approximately?
So, at the location you guys are at right now, this is the second day. And you do encounter a ship on the open water. It is riding low in the water right now. Like, it looks like it's laden down with a lot of goods. And it seems to be trying to stay at the outside edges of the Shackles. It's riding northwesternly, and it has a Sargovan flag.
Oh, please. Can we take it?
Can we, Captain?
Can we take the money?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get started, I need you guys to make a profession sailor check and a perception check.
Both?
Yes.
Every last one of us, alright. Nice.
16 is the sailor.
Okay. And let me roll it for Sifri just to make sure we've got all that down in here. Where did I put his? Here we go. He has a perception of 6. And in profession sailor, here it is, plus 11. Okay, Kamakiri and Maelstrom, you both are looking in on this ship. You think it's riding super low in the water, like it's laden down with a lot of stuff. The crew is handling the sheets poorly, like they're losing wind all the time. And the decks, they're hard to maneuver on because there's 2 very large like covered things on the deck that are taking up huge amounts of space, like 30 by 30 block of space, and the crew has to like crawl over it, get around it. It's taking up large portions of the ship.
Oh, this is such an easy mark. It's almost funny.
Don't get cocky, kid.
So, who would you guys like to select as pilot for this?
I think Sifri's got the bait. Are there any other ships on the water?
You, with your perception checks, did not see any other ships on the water.
Not even with a 23. Ooh.
Mine's technically a 24. Crow's nest, caca.
Okay. All right. So, normally, we would have 3 perception sailor checks as the 2 ships pursued each other and we see who comes out ahead. This ship is just losing wind constantly and has no rowing power. And at certain times, it seems to actually be trying to tack into the wind by heading at 45-degree angles. And it's basically going nowhere. And you catch up with it very easily over the course of, like 6 hours. And when you're about an hour away from it, the sails immediately fill. They flip the ship around and they start pulling off all the covers. They have 2 catapults on deck, and they're now heading directly towards you.
Oh, shit.
I have a plan.
Okay, so what is the plan now that they are moving to engage you?
They're engaging us head on, right?
They are. They're heading directly towards you.
If I attach a wind wall on the front of the ship, will that block the catapults?
Again, it will not. It will give them probably a mischance of some kind, but your wind wall isn't capable of blocking the entire ship.
How much of a percentile?
Probably 20%.
You know what? I'll take it because it's a prepared spell. It's like, why the hell not?
Okay. All right. Captain, what's your choice of action? You got a wind wall up on the front or back or wherever you'd like to put it. Now, it should be noted, their catapults are port and starboard, so even though they're coming directly at you, they can't shoot you until they turn.
I'm no strategist, but bomb rush.
Tell me when you want the wind wall up.
So if the wind wall's up, you guys aren't going to be able to fire out, right? Because your shot's just going to hit your own wind wall on the way out.
Well, we could put the wind wall just behind the ballista, I guess.
Okay. But that's not going to protect the back end of the ship then. The whole back end will still be shootable. For instance, the rudder.
Good point. I guess the strategy's not really going to work, so I guess I'll just hold back on that.
Yeah, until we see them turning to fire.
Yeah. Basically, I'm ready to action, like, come on. Come on.
Okay. So the way I see it, you guys are both heading full speed towards each other. At least they're heading full speed towards you. What are you guys? Are you also doing that?
I think our strategy is to lead them on with the ballistae.
So you're turning away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just leading them on with our rear-facing cannons.
Alright, and the wind is behind both of you.
I am correct in that assumption, am I? I don't know.
So let's see what the standard rules here are then. You begin going at 30. Both ships.
Phew.
They are technically the pursuer here.
How big is each square?
30 feet.
Okay, so let me do some measurement. Because I might have a cheeky idea.
In the process of settling into range with you guys, they actually overshoot you. And pull in for a nice side shot.
I have a action I like to take, because I realized the range on wind wall. Can I make a cyclone of walls around the catapults?
We will see. Give me a moment here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They pulled way the heck past you guys. Alright. You're both heading into the wind. Or you're both heading with the wind. We'd roll initiative, but apparently I'm rolling against myself because I am both the enemy captain and the pilot of the Laughing Dolphin. So anyone who would like to take actions in this combat can add themselves to the initiative, but that also makes you a target.
Are we playing with the forum
We're
rules?
just playing with standard rules for now.
Standard rules, alright.
So would anyone like to add themselves to the initiative order?
Okay. Would I be able? How would I be able to?
Just roll.
No. No.
Oh, you mean how do you... You're a physical character. Well, you know your characters and throw them up here then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I realized I got like 140 feet range, which is like, huh. I could probably put the wind wall on top of the coal post to try to block some of the shots.
Okay. Alright, so you are facing the ship Q, which has a bunch of apostrophes, both before and